Yeah, it's your boy Brady Senior giving you the OMFL News After Dark. Gotta be a little quiet because we got that remote learning going on in the background. But we're gonna go ahead and talk about this draft. Looks like Daddy League set up a little something. We'll kind of recap some of the top picks. You know, even look at, looks like it's top 10, top tiers, best draft, and then of course best picks. Stay tuned after this, bitches. Yeah. Get busy with them. Hey. Get busy with them. Hey. Alright, man. This your boy Brady Senior giving you the OMFL News. Welcome fucking back. Alright, so we're getting ready to talk about this top 10 in the draft. So let's see if I can run through this motherfucker real quick. Packers at 1 with Kemp. Dolphins at 2 with Dillinger. Jaguars at 3 with Morris. Football team at 4 with Peters. Bengals at 5 with Bryson. Jets at 6 with Tandy. Bills at 7 with Walden. The Falcons at 8 with Royals. The Panthers with Lipton at 9. And Mr. Ellis and them Colts at 10. And that is your top 10 of the motherfucking first draft here in the OMFL. Peace, motherfuckers. Yeah, welcome back, hey. Welcome back, hey. Welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark, man. This your boy Brady Senior giving you the news, the lowdown on this motherfucking shit. Alright, I'll stop. I ain't got no bars. Let me quit playing. But real quick, man, let's talk about this draft here. So Daddy Leagues, they got a couple little tabs that you can click on, man, and check out some of the teams, and let's run through the top 4 or 5 teams on the tier players that they actually had. So the Dolphins led all teams with 4 top tier players. The Steelers came in second, or tied for second, with the Steelers, the Browns, the football team, and the Colts. All had 3 top tier players added to the draft. So that's the top 5 right there. Dolphins, Steelers, Browns, football team, and the Colts. And yeah, man. The worst team in the drafts, I will go ahead and piggyback off that. The worst teams were the Cardinals, the Ravens, the Bucks, and the Seahawks. Neither of those teams picked a top tier team. But I mean, come on. Cardinals, really? He went in with dirt, fam. I'm just saying. We'll be right back after this, man. We got more on this motherfucking draft. Peace. Man, I had to use this beat again. It go hard in the paint. Yeah. Hey, man, welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark, man. Look, we getting ready to talk about best picks per position. All right? We gonna run through this. We'll try and give you a minute worth, and then we'll come back and hit you with one more minute worth. But yeah, let's run through this shit, shall we? Got 30 seconds. Let's go with it. So the best pick at right outside linebacker goes to the Packers with Kemp. Defensive tackle was Dillinger to the Dolphins. Halfback was Morris to the Jags. Cornerback was Bryson to the Bengals. We had Walden, receiver, to the Bills. We had Smallwood, left end, to the Browns. And then we had middle linebacker Ellis to the Colts. But hey, you know what? We'll be right back into this, motherfuckers. Yo, if you made it this far, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe. You probably hearing a lot of noise in the background, but like I said, man, it's remote learning in here, and I'm pre-recording the fuck out of this shit. But anyway, this is OMFL News After Dark, getting you lit, hyped the fuck up for some Press Pass Live, hosted by my boy GrownFolks motherfucking Nate. So again, hit the like, motherfuckers, hit the like. Damn sure click that fucking subscribe and stay tuned every week, cause we keeps this motherfucker fresh. Peace. Yeah, this beat, right? I guess I got to keep this beat consistent with what I'm doing here. Anyway, so man, we are back at it again. We're gonna rattle off some more, but yeah, we are doing the best picks at each position, and let's rattle off this next 7. Shout out to my boy Nips real quick. You know, gotta get that nipple shot in there. And then another shout out to the hater in the motherfucking room. Penguins in the motherfucking Chiefs. Whatever, man. Hey, I'm gonna stop. But here we go, man. We got Lipton was the best left outside linebacker to the Panthers. Glenn was the best strong safety to the Lions. Holloway was the best right end to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wilkins was the best free safety to the Jets. It looks like Young was the best tight end to the Packers. And the best left tackle, hidden development, Mr. Brooks, went to the Broncos. But you know what, man? Hey, we'll be right back after this, y'all. Because I got more for you bitches. I told y'all, boy, I love this beat. Y'all gonna get fucking sick and tired of hearing it, but you know, we gonna keep it fucking going. Yeah. Hey, shake that ass, ho. hey. Alright, I'm done. Anyway, man, hey, we back. OMFL News After Dark. And, yeah, man, let's see if we can rattle off the rest of these to get up out of here, man, so we can get you over to the Press Pass Live. But yeah, top picks at each position. Quarterback, Mr. Baker went to the 49ers. Left guard, Stallings went to the football team. Tanner, right guard, went to the Giants. Lambert, punter, went to the Cowboys. Stafford, fullback, went to the Broncos. Robinson, kicker, went to the Bengals. Carter, center, went to the Texans. And then last but not least, Mr. Gibson, right tackle, bitches, went to them Browns, ho. Yeah. But I ain't trying to rhyme. I ain't trying to bust on rhymes right now. But I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here. Gonna come back just a second to close this out, man. And we're gonna talk about, man, I believe it's the best draft. The best draft. Yeah. Let's close this shit out. Hey. All right, man. It's your boy Brady Sr. giving you the OMFL news. And yo, it's time to get up out of here. Because the bees keep coming. Hey, the bees keep coming, bitches. But yeah, we getting ready to talk about Best Draft. Best Draft Award. Best Draft Award. Hey, yo, put some incentive points on this shit. This shit right here is hot, y'all. If you haven't got over to Daddy Lee's to check out the draft tab, man, you need to get your motherfucking asses over there and tell them who fucking sent you to. Is that Brady Senior? But anyway, yo, listen, about to get out of here. Press Pass Live is hot, ready to go. But man, the Best Draft Award went to the motherfucking Miami Dolphins, bro. They got 2 hidden development. Wait, was it 2? 3? No, 3. They got 3 dudes on their team that's hidden development. Of the 4 that they got that was top tier. Like, come the fuck on, man. You better have a balling out season, bro. But anyway, I'm out of here. Yo, so this is your boy Brady Senior signing out. Peace, love, and motherfucking hair grease. I'm out. Hey. Peace, bitches.
This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
That's what happens when settings just absolutely change themselves. And so I've been sitting here for 3 minutes talking to myself before I turn around and read the chat for a real quick second. So let's start all over again. I have no clue why OBS decided to make some changes. I welcomed you to Press Pass Live, the weekly podcast show for the OMFL. And since our buddy Matt is in the chat, an award-winning league crawler winning podcast that we do here, I don't think that that's a real statement, but it is 10:30 at night, and I'm already flustered because my sound went out for a couple of minutes there. I apologize for that. I don't know why. It just absolutely changed my settings, but we're back and we got it figured out. So I'm glad that you guys are with us. Usually this is the time where we look at some of our favorite games from the past week, but we can't do that this week because there've been no games played. Actually, there's been 1 week played, but not a ton of games played because we just kicked off the season on Saturday. And so instead, we're going to look at some of my hot takes from this past off season. What are some of the teams that really stuck out to me? And I got to start with my own. Sorry about this. I don't know why my mic is falling all over the place tonight. I think I can tighten it without taking the wire off. Yeah, that's much better. I don't know why that got loose, but we got it figured out. By the way, if you've ever wanted to get into streaming, kind of like what we do here, I'm about to do some upgrades. I just ordered a new mic today. I got a couple new stands coming in. I think I'm going to upgrade my capture card at some point soon. Sooner if I can get rid of the old stuff. So anyway, I'm just saying I take care of my stuff really well. This mic here is the main mic that I use and probably the one that I'll try to sell. It's a Blue Yeti X, and it's a year old as long as the capture card is a year old, an Elgato 60S. If you're interested in streaming, I'm going to sell this stuff and I'll sell it to you pretty cheap, a fair price, and ship it over to you. So if you're interested, I will post a link and some information about it in our forum because I think I'm ready to do some upgrades with the new PlayStation 5 and start going 4K and see what kind of videos that we can push out here. So anyway, back to some of my hot takes. The hottest take is going to be my team, and that is the fact that the salary cap bug bit me pretty hard. I was $35 million over the cap in last season. I was under the cap last season, but projected cap for the next season, I was $35 million over. I had 20 players up for re-sign. I couldn't touch any of them in the season. Had to wait till the re-sign mode, and I had to just cut a bunch of dudes. So I lost 12 starters from this team. My punter, my kicker, my quarterback ended up retiring. Starting receiver, starting tight end, starting defensive tackle, starting defensive end. 2 of the starting linebackers. I run a 4-3, so 3/4 of my starting linebackers, a starting cornerback, a starting safety, and 3 pivotal role players in backup roles, one of them being Taysom Hill, who did come in for 3 or 4 or 5 plays a game and just was a good mix of pace, a quarterback that I was able to bring in. So that hit me really hard. I had to cut a bunch of guys. I had to be super smart in free agency. I wasn't able to go out and get a quarterback. Ended up having to draft one. There wasn't a great one to draft in the second round with either of my 2 picks. I ended up going best player available, but that meant that I had to wait till the 4th round, took a reach on a guy, and after some XP awards that I ended up putting on him, he'll end up being okay, but this is going to be a tough season, and Maniac proved that in week 1 as he absolutely throttled me, sends me back to the drawing board. I think I was trying to use that quarterback too much just to see what he could do, and yo, homie, it's not a preseason game. These games count. You can't really do that. I should have stuck to the running game and playing some good defense, and I didn't do either one of those. So one of the other hot takes is what the Green Bay Packers have done. Now, I will be the first to admit that I am usually a Green Bay Packer hater. I actually love Priest. I think he's a great dude, but I think the thing that sticks out to me about what Priest does is he just wants to have fun. He wants to sling the ball around. He wants to put up a bunch of points. He wants to make big plays on both sides of the ball. You know, winning championships and winning his division is not really that driving factor. That's kind of like some lanyard that gets added on to the end. Instead, he just wants to have fun with his team. But this year, man, he's gone out and really invested in some older players. You can see here 29, 32, 28. It's come up some of his first 3 top players here. He's got a great defensive line that ended up showing up big. Cam Jordan's got a lot left in the tank. I ended up getting a really good deal from him, so I had to let him go. I got 2 high second-round picks, and I got to take that and save me a lot of cap room. But Cam Jordan was the NFC sack leader last year, and now he's added that to this defensive line, and he got a really big win in week 1. So the Packers and what they were able to do, what he didn't think about is that it put him $10 million over the cap. He just, what do you say about that? So he was like, I thought we could be over the cap. No, you have to be under the cap at all times. And so he ended up letting go a pretty good player in a defensive end so that he could go ahead and get under the cap. But he got it. He's under the cap. And now we're moving on to see what the Packers can do. We got to talk about the Miami Dolphins. They had rated through Daddy Leagues the best draft this past year. I don't even remember some of his draft picks. Let's see if we can pick a couple of these guys out. Jimmy Horn, 79 speed quarterback. I know he's 53 overall, but he's got a little speed there. Might be a project player. He doesn't really need a quarterback at all. I forget what he went out and got with this team. He invested in the offseason in a ton. This is a really good player. 71 year overall, 22-year-old. That's what I'm trying to spit out. 92 speed, 91 acceleration, 95 change of direction, 77 catch. Dylan Sharp's going to be a pretty good player for him. Brett Faulkner, this was another big guy that had some speed. Niles Barber. So he invested in a lot of speed. He also invested in a lot of Alabama players. I've seen that he really went out and spent some money on some Alabama players. I like this kid here. 84 speed, 88 acceleration, 76 strength. That's a pretty good tight end. 65 overall. So he does need a little bit of work, but definitely a really good player that he can build up there. But he had rated the best overall draft, and he was making plays, man. He was able to go out and make some deals and use his draft picks. And I really think that Ross is going to be one of the top players here this year. Now, week 1 was a bit of a disappointment for me, not what I expected to see from him, but I still think he's got plenty of time to turn it around. Eric Linder, I think this guy was a 2nd-round pick for him. 72 overall, 80 speed, 88 acceleration, 81 strength. That's going to be a really good defensive end that he can plug in out there. Here's this big guy. I think this was his number 1 pick that he had. 78 overall, 75 speed for a defensive tackle, 82 acceleration, 96 strength. This guy is going to be a stud. I think he was a hidden Devo, though I could be wrong about that because there was a bunch of normal Devo guys that went pretty early in that draft. I think this was another kid that I really liked. Yeah, 85 speed, 89 acceleration, 81 change of direction, 80 strength. So this guy I like him a lot. Not a great man or zone coverages, but I like everything else that he's got going on for him. So he's putting together an all-Alabama team. He's also putting together a really young team that should make some interesting plays as we go on in the season. One of the teams that I really have my eyes on. The Eagles, another team really bit by the salary cap bug. And I think he did a pretty decent job getting his team put back together and getting him ready to maybe be another season away. Really like what the Falcons did. Steady, wins the race, and that's what he did. He just kind of stuck the course. He knew he's going to have to cut some salary coming up here pretty soon, but he was smart with his money, and that's what Bill does. Bill's a smart player. Number 1 quarterback off the board, Jamie Baker, goes over to San Francisco as he cut a bunch of salary himself. 89 speed, 88 acceleration, 89 change of direction, 88 throwing power, 83, 82, 84. So this guy can make all of the plays, and he's going to be another really, really good player. Now, 00's got, nothing to say. He's got the quarterback that he really needs. And then we got to talk about the Giants and the defensive line that this guy's put together. He really wanted Cam Jordan. We weren't able to make it work out to where I felt good about it because look at this. I mean, he's got Griffin. He's got Lawrence. He drafted this kid here who's going to be, if I know anything about Mo, he'll have him built up pretty fast. Ingram, 84 overall. And he's got Fletcher Cox, Neil. I mean, I don't know why you do that. And the guy that he traded to get Fletcher Cox was immediately cut and was right back out there in a free agency. So by far, you can see what Mo's strategy is here. He's investing in the defensive line to get a lot of pressure. He's going to go ahead and play one of these fast linebackers and cover up a lot of field. But his idea is let's go and cover up as much of that field as we possibly can, and let's make plays on the back end. And then lastly, we got to cover our champion. And look, he definitely has a plan too that you're going to see him probably interact. He was trying to get Lattimore for me, and the price for it just wasn't going to work out for me. But he's going to be investing in these defensive backs. He's trying to put 3 or 4 defensive backs on the field at all times that can just shut you down, force you into some bad plays, and pick you off. That's always kind of been his strategy. He doesn't hide that strategy. That's where he invests his money. And he tried really hard to get rid of Murray. He tried to get rid of him to me, I think to a lot of players. Just no one was able to pull the trigger because everyone's really nervous about paying quarterbacks. No one wants to pay quarterbacks. And that's another big story of this offseason, as we've seen all of the top quarterbacks go untouched and get signed at 1-year deals to their current teams on the cheap. That kind of brings us to our next part, where we're going to give some AFC predictions and just go ahead and lay it out. I don't know if any of my buddies could come and meet me tonight. I haven't seen or heard from anybody, so evidently everybody's pretty busy. I think Rob's also out of town, and so that's going to kind of take him out of it. But let me go ahead and run through these really quick. Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. This was one of the divisions where I have to admit I was a little bit of a hater on my boy Mackey, even though he did hold his own in the OMFL Bowl. I just thought that he didn't do enough this past offseason. I thought his draft was weak. He comes out first game of the season and drops a 40-burger on the Pittsburgh Steelers, only allows 10 points. And speaking of the Steelers, that was another team that I thought you were going to see a big leap from year 1 to year 2. And man, he gave up 40, and that's what Clyde is known for, is a defensive team. This is going to be all about the Ravens in the AFC North, and the question will be, can the Browns stay consistent enough? Will the Steelers learn from this week 1 throttling that he got to be able to one of those teams to come back? And then what's going to happen with the Bengals? They have a young team. They're still putting it together, but can Burrow make the next leap for his team and make some stuff happen there? Ravens are going to win this division. It'll be up in the air if one of these other teams can win one of the other wild card positions. AFC South, you got the Titans, Jags, Texans, and Colts. The Colts are the big wild card for me. He made some moves. He ended up getting rid of his quarterback. He didn't replace him until recently when he went out and signed the Rams NFL quarterback, whose name is all of a sudden slipping my brain right now. But he is one of those teams that you don't know quite when Shocks is on, and when he is clicking, man, his team is winning, and he's able to do that. But this is a loaded division. These are 2 top-heavy, top-tier teams in the OMFL. I know that the Titans dropped week 1, but that team's going to be right there in the mix as he was last season, going deep into the playoffs. We've seen what the Jaguars were able to do. Now, Brady tried to sell me on the fact he was going to have a bad season, but didn't listen to that at all. And he shows that he's got a quarterback. He went out and traded for the guy from the Colts this past year. Now, that's another head scratcher. Why do you trade in division to a team that you're trying to catch up to, and then give the most important position that he needed, the missing piece for his team? And now your team is going to be less that piece. It's a little bit of a head scratcher, but Jaguars, I think, are going to be right there in the mix. Give me the Jaguars to win this division. Titans definitely to take one of the wild cards. Texans are turning things around. He's getting some things figured out. A big victory in week 1, but I need to see more consistency out of that team before I really start to pick them for anything. Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, and Bills in the AFC East. This was all about the Jets and the Patriots last season. I do think that the Dolphins are going to make that next leap here. The Bills were a bit of a disappointment. I think he drafted really, really well. He's still missing some playmakers there. He's still looking for some pieces to replace and replenish. He invested into his defense, and that defense, I think, is another year away. but he's got to get some offense. You got to score some points if you're going to win here. I think another top 5 pick this year for Outlaw, but then look for him to get engaged and start to turn things around. Jets, Patriots, and Dolphins. I think all 3 of these teams make it. I think that the Dolphins are going to win this division with the Patriots and the Jets being right on their heels. This should be a really fun race to watch as we continue to go this season. And then that leads us to the AFC West. Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers. Man, give me 1 second. I gotta get some water before I even talk about this one. Chargers are going to get unleashed on the league this year, okay? I've been singing his praises for a while now. This is the year that you see it. Firepower on offense. He'll make enough plays on defense to really win enough games. I think that this is a 12 or 13 win team. It's going to be fun to watch Chargers and Chiefs this year. As you can see, both of them putting up a ton of points. I do think that Penguins plays a little bit more consistent defense, but the cap bug hit Penguins and he did have to get rid of a bunch of players. I think he's 1 to 2 injuries away from being in a lot of trouble because he had to cut a bunch of players. Raiders are a really, really fun team. Broncos have put together one hell of an offense, loaded with offensive firepower from tight end to receiver to running backs, that quarterback. This is going to be an offensive firehouse of a division. I know that I just picked 3 teams to make it from the AFC East. I'm starting to doubt that now because I think all 4 of these teams fight it out and battle it out to the very end. But if I had to pick a team to win it, I got to take the Chargers. And I got to take one of these back. I really do now. I think only 2 of these teams make it because I think 2 teams have to come from here. I think it's going to be Chargers and Chiefs, Broncos and Raiders battling it out to the very, very end, though. That should be a fun one. Let me know in chat, though, what you think. I'd love to hear your predictions for all of the AFC. I'll give you my bowl predictions at the very end of the show. Moving over to the NFC, look at the NFC North. You got Bears, Vikings, Lions, and Packers. Smash said that I'm a hater. Not a hater, man. I'm just saying that we've seen you struggle and win a not exciting division a lot of times, but that is not what this division is anymore. You do have Trey there with the Lions. You do have Denbrew with the Vikings. We've seen what the Packers did with that defensive line, that defense, and just really playmakers all over. And look at the Bears, though, playing to his strengths, loading up on defense. He wins a game 13-9. Love is able to make enough plays. Love had a shockingly good season. I did not expect to see that from him last year. And this could be his division again. Big victory against Denbrew, who you don't expect to lose these games. Denbrew studies you out. He's able to keep it close and make a lot of plays at the end. But the Bears defense, man, is the most frustrating defense I've ever played. They make plays all over, a lot of pressure on the quarterback. The shocker for me here is Trey and the Lions with that week 1 loss, 17-20. I seen how dominant Trey was with the Packers, and I thought the Panthers. But ever since he's moved away, he hasn't really found his niche yet. And look, a lot of real life things have kind of kept him distracted, and I thought that this could be the year he focuses in. Maybe he's a year away from really building that powerhouse of a team that we've seen with the Carolina Packers. I'm looking at Packers. I'm trying to say Panthers. Eyes and brain and mouth are not working together really well. Packers put up a really great game in week 1. Just not ever consistent enough with not turning the ball over. I think he's going to be in cap hell next year. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears to win this division. I think 2 of these other teams could be fighting out for a wild card round. If one gets it, though, I would have to go consistent. Give me the Vikings to get it if they're able to get there, but it wouldn't surprise me if just one team makes it from this division, because these other divisions are pretty loaded, especially when we look at the East and the South. Let's talk about the South right now. Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, Falcons. Division I know the most about here. We got Big Herd putting up tons of points now. He did go out and trade for Drew Lock. Can he win with Drew Lock, though? That's going to be yet to be seen. We haven't seen Drew Lock win in this league just yet, unless the Falcons... Did the Falcons win the 1 year with Drew Lock? Maybe they did. I think he did win the 1 year with Drew Lock, but Big Herd is not Big D money, and I don't know if he can win with Drew Lock. He does still have Tom Brady. I don't know which one of those two he is starting currently, but he plays really great defense and has a very strong run game. I like the Buccaneers to win this division this year. I know I called them last year, but I just got lucky and was able to take it from him. I do think the Buccaneers win this division. I think Carolina and the Falcons, though, both get wild cards. Carolina's got a great team. He put it all together against me. He's got a swarming defense that really gets after the quarterback. And then on offense, he is being able to make enough plays. His offensive line protected him really well, opened up some holes for McCaffrey. I think you're going to see McCaffrey, if he stays healthy, put up a lot of big yards this season. Bucks to win the division. Panthers and Falcons to get a wild card. Falcons, I know he dropped week 1, but he's Mr. Steady Eddie. He stays to the core of what he needs to do. He drafted really well. I think he's going to turn it around this season. NFC East, you got Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and the Washington football team. Of course, this is all about Dwayne and his Cowboys. He continues to show his dominance, 45-28. His Achilles heel is going to be D-Money and what happens in the playoffs, and that has been his downfall. I hope that he really hones in and focuses and is able to get D-Money out of his head and break that winning streak this year. But we'll have to see what happens when you get to the playoffs. Pepper and his team, Mo and his team, they're going to be very good. He's got a hell of a D-line. Look, I know he gave up 45 points. I don't know what happened this game. Things happen sometimes. Games get away from you. I don't even know if this was played. Like, I do know that he had to leave. At least I was told he had to leave. So maybe this was even a CPU game. I think there's a very good chance that that's what this was. And then we've got the new guy with the Eagles. Really hit him hard. Not sure what happened there. So I think the Giants and the Washington football team both had CPU games this year. I think those will be both very, very good teams pushing the NFC South for some wild card positions. The football team has a lot of quarterbacks on that roster. So if things don't work out with Haskins, he's got other ways that he can go. Sorry. And then Mo with that defense and that defensive line, he is doing it kind of the opposite way of D-Money. He's going to look to get a lot of pressure on you and force you into some bad throws, whereas D-Money covers everybody up, hopes to get a sack or force you into some bad throws. Give me the Cowboys to win this one in a tight race with the Giants. Giants are definitely going to get a wild card, and the big wild card for this division is the Washington football team. Who's this to the NFC West? I'm so sick of seeing D-Money win championships here. I just am. I told him as much. It just, God, we need to get some more guys to win here. He's got another dominant team on his hands here. He gave up 7 points to the 49ers, and that was with their brand new quarterback. He picked him off 4 times. He's got 6 starters that could start on defensive back for any football team here, and he gets to field all 6 of them, which means no matter where you put your guys, he can match up, keep guys in their position, know where they're coming from. He can go make plays with his safety. We've seen what his linebackers were able to do in the OMFL Bowl game. This guy just keeps stronger and stronger and stronger. I think he will get rid of Kyler Murray if he wins it this year. He wants to get a lower-rated quarterback and build him up. He thinks that would be fun as he rips the league with a low-rated quarterback. Pepper with the Seahawks has got a lot of things to figure out. I don't know. My worry for Pepper is when he had the Giants, there was like his favorite football team, so there was a reason to stay motivated. I don't know if he's going to be motivated with the Seahawks. He does have a very good team. I do think when Pepper is sticking to his game plan, running the ball, protecting it with his quarterback, and playing really good defense, he wins. He just gets out of his own element sometimes. Rams are going to be a wild card here. 49ers, I think, in for one more rough season before Double Zero is able to move things around and make some plays there. So those are my predictions for the NFC. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the NFC. What do you think your predictions are going to be? And that kind of brings me to my OMFL Bowl predictions before we open the mailbag and check it out. Good to see you, Smash. I talked about you, Smash. You have to go back and check out the other parts of the video, but let's go ahead and talk about my OMFL Bowl predictions. Let's just talk about a couple of these top teams. Ravens, they're coming right back with almost the exact same team. We've seen that he's able to get a lot of points on offense and play really good defense. We've seen that even in the bowl game that he can keep a really good team from putting up 40 or 50 points. I think you'll like what you see from the Ravens. Again, I'm the guy holding the sign that looks like a dummy because I thought we were going to see a step back from that team this year. Cowboys right back in there. He's had to rebuild with a brand new quarterback, but I think he's going to be just fine. Dwayne doesn't play with stud quarterbacks. It's not really his gimmick. His gimmick is to have a quarterback that can make plays when he needs to. He's going to be about the offensive line, the run game, and what he can do with the defense, and that's going to be just fine. The Chiefs, a lot of offensive firepower. I do worry, is he just a couple of injuries away, though, from hitting a little bit of a skid? But when this team is healthy, he's one of the best. He's still a little upset about this kick return that is stuck in his craw. I think that he's going to use that as motivation to really drive him. How can you not pick D-Money? He's like not picking Alabama. You're going to be right more often than you are wrong. D-Money returns all of the big pieces. Literally, he's got 6 starters at defensive back that he can put anywhere on the field. He's going to be right back in the mix and probably easily the favorite as we move into the season. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Big Hurt returns another great team. You see, he knows how to put up a lot of points. I was kind of his Achilles heel last year, but I am definitely taking 20 steps back, so I'm not going to be there. The interesting pivot point for me is Panthers, Bucks, what happens between those two teams. The Giants, they're going to be a top-tier team here at a CPU game week 1. He'll be back. He'll be playing. He's got plenty of weapons with that team. He's got stud receivers all over, and now he's built one of the most amazing defenses that we thought we would ever see here. Titans, I think we see a little step back there. He was a little quiet this offseason. I don't know if it was a money issue. I didn't pay attention to his draft all that much. It didn't really stick out to me. And so that worries me is that if everybody else is catching up, is that gap closing? Will we see a slight step back there for the Titans? And they got Panthers, Jags, Bears. I mean, these teams are all right there. I think the Jags out of those 3 teams are probably the better team because he's got his quarterback. But look for the Panthers and Maniac to make a lot of noise. Do not be surprised if he goes on a 6 or 7 game winning streak here to open up the season. He's got that kind of team with that kind of firepower that can really make things happen. Jaguars, I think you're going to see them go on a bit of a run here. 8, 9, 10 games deep possibly. He always plays really great defense. Now he's got a quarterback that can make plays. He's going to be a dangerous team. Bears, arguably number 1, number 2 defense in the league that you never hear talked about. We always talk about him as being a top-tier defensive player, but I think arguably he's 1, 2, 3 almost every single year. Man, they put a lot of pressure on you. He put almost every linebacker on his team in the Pro Bowl this past year. Look for the Bears to keep Love safe. As long as he doesn't do anything crazy with Love, he'll win a ton of games here. And then when I just think about the Chargers, man, this is going to be the team that I think you see make the biggest leap. He is filled with firepower. The most dangerous offense in this league, I think, has seen since Mo with the Seahawks, in my opinion. Just receivers galore, speed galore, a quarterback that can sling it. Man, he's going to put up a ton of points, and it's going to be really, really good. But ultimately, you guys aren't looking for me to break down every team here. You're looking for me to make my OMFL Bowl predictions. I got to go with the AFC darling Los Angeles Chargers. I just think that offense is going to be pretty unstoppable. I do like Penguins and the Chiefs. I think it's going to be interesting when one of those 2 teams meet each other. What defense makes more plays? I do think Penguins is a steady, more consistent defensive player And then what happens when those two teams meet the Baltimore Ravens of the league, right? Those really defensive heavy teams, the Jaguars of the league. Are they able to overcome that? And I maybe I'm being a hater, but I do see one of those teams overtaking the Baltimore Ravens. And maybe I'm just going with my hot pick. I got to go with the LA Chargers. I just think that offense is going to be so much fun. Look for them to get back to the bowl. He's the guy that gave D-Money the biggest run for his money in OMFL Bowl history, in the last 10 OMFL Bowls. And I think he wants to get back to that, and he feels like he's finally put together the team that can do that. NFC side, man, I'd love to pick the Cowboys. I'd love to say the Giants, but both of those guys seem to let D-Money into their head, and they probably need a little bit of like a voodoo doll or something, or D-Money's thumbs to fall off. D-Money's got to be the pick here until he gets proven otherwise. How do you not pick him? And I think we see him win his 8th or 9th OMFL Bowl. I think D-Money is going to be my pick until someone beats him. And man, I am fingers crossed pulling for somebody to beat him. I need it as a commission. I just need to see somebody else win, because it's just not good, I don't think, for a league to continue to have a same champion over and over and over. So those are my predictions. Now let's move over and talk about some mailbag questions. And we got a couple of really good ones this time. Let's go ahead and look at Tim, who asked us this. Which teams do you think stood out and improved their teams in the offseason? Chargers were one of those teams that used the current tools, but I think found a couple of other tools. I really like what the Miami Dolphins did. But if I had to pick my team that did the best this offseason, you not go with Brady. I see you, Brady. Right? I see you in here. Like, Brady went out and found his quarterback. And now that he's got his quarterback, man, you got to tip your cap to him. He's got cap space. He's got playmakers. He's got his quarterback now. It's going to be a fun team, and he's going to really make a big run in the AFC to see, if he can go ahead and get over the hump and get his shot at the D-Money train. So I do think that the Jaguars are going to get my kind of head nod to the best overall offseason. Even though it wasn't a ton of moves, it was enough moves. I do think the Colts went out and made some big moves, and also I think the Dolphins had the best draft by far. Tim asked, who's ready to make the leap and reach the playoffs this season? It's a good call. I'd have to pull up the graphic from last year, because I don't even remember who wasn't in the playoffs. A couple teams that come to mind, the Raiders. Wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs this year. Broncos, I think they've got a lot of offensive firepower, arguably right up there with Colin and his Chargers. I think Colin was in the playoffs, so I don't think I can go by that, but if Colin wasn't in the playoffs, clearly I think Colin will be in the playoffs. The Browns could be a really surprising team that I think, if he stays steady, could also make the playoffs. The Dolphins, I think, are going to be a playoff team. I know he dropped week 1. I know we keep seeing that, but I do think the Dolphins could be a playoff team. It would not completely shock me if the Packers make the playoffs. I'm not thinking it's going to happen, so maybe a little bit of a shock factor there, but the Packers have a really, really good team, and so I think that they definitely could make the playoffs. Lost Sniper, I would love to hear the history on GrownFolks community, little origin story, and how things developed over the years. Your intent when it started, how things developed. You see and hope for the upcoming years. Thanks. What I hope is that Dwayne finally lets me hand this thing off to him, and I get to retire. I feel like I can't keep up with y'all no more, and it's so much. It is a lot of work. Honestly, it started. I got my first gaming PC in 2001. I became friends with some guys in the little town that I lived. How old would I have been in 2001? How long ago is that? 21 years ago? So it would have been 20. That's 2021 when I got my first gaming PC. I became friends with some guys that own a computer store And we'd go hang out over there because some friends of mine were friends of theirs, and we all kind of became friends. And it was the first time I'd always heard about it, but never seen it, where guys would link up a row of computers on one side of the room and LAN network to the other computers on the other side of the room and play these shooter games. And so we'd go over there and play these shooter games. And I was learning how to play with a keyboard, but I was learning what PC gaming was. I was always like, Nintendo guy, Atari guy. I think I started out with an Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, and then I got over to PlayStation 1, 2, 3, of course, 4, now 5 here soon. So, out of that relationship, I owned a pet store. The guy wanted a big saltwater tank. We worked out a little barter. I gave him a saltwater tank, a very expensive setup. He gave me a very expensive gaming computer. And I found out that there was online football leagues playing Tecmo Bowl. And I grew up playing Tecmo Bowl. And so I was like super into it. They had updated rosters and they were doing drafts and free agency. And I had never ever experienced anything like that. So I played for about 6 months in a Tecmo Bowl league, learning how to use forums, learning how to use websites, learning how to play these games. They would connect a little bit like Madden in the old PC days used to connect network IP to network IP, and you would play through an emulator and you would play Tecmo Bowl against somebody, and you would just get you a controller that connected through like a USB situation, and fell in love with it. And then Madden came out with a game that was not online. It was just Madden, and I was like, this is super cool. And the graphics were like super killer because it was PC. And then the next year, they came out with PC, the first ever Madden online PC game in 2001. And I got it for Christmas and fired it up and just fell in love with it. And immediately, overnight, in the first month, there was 200 PC Madden leagues out there. And so I started one and started finding owners on forums. We started an ICQ, and over the first month or two, I got super lucky and got some like super cool people. I always heard, I don't know how true this is, but if you guys remember Tradition Sports, which was a big thing for a while there, the guy who started Tradition Sports, I heard was the same guy that was my co-commissioner for a while. His name was Ryan. And so Ryan helped me get it going. We learned rules. We learned what was invented the word cheese, what was not cheese. I remember we had to boot our first OMFL Bowl winner because he was using this glitch in the game where he would just run fly routes and toss it up, and his guy would go up and rocket catch it every time. Back then we could switch, and so he'd switch, he'd pull the defender off a route, then he'd come back, hit the jump button, and catch every single pass, and won the first OMFL Bowl, and we ended up having to boot him. And then the very long story short is I had no kids. I worked nights. I was not married. My now wife lived with me, but I worked nights, and I would come home at 2, 3 in the morning from work and be in a house by myself. And that was back when my computer itself was the server. So now y'all log into EA servers. Well, back then my computer's IP address was the server, so my computer had to stay online all day, and people would connect to it. And so I would get on just to check things. I could read everything because I was the server. I don't know why it hides Bo Jackson. That was stupid. But anyway, I would log into the server and people would be chatting at 2 or 3 in the morning. And so we'd start talking trades and talking about the league, and it just exploded to become the OMFL was just this awesome community. And from there, over the next couple of years, it grew, and I found some really amazing people that started doing their own websites. And I had a graphic designer, web designer, which I wish I knew how to find Bry. He was right outside of, he lived on an island, one of those little islands below Florida, and he did amazing graphic work and amazing websites. And I had another guy named Mountain Mike, who was a commissioner here for a bit. He would do, first time we ever did videos, and we would do like coach videos, and he'd put them on YouTube. And then we learned how to like clip videos from games and put them on YouTube. And it just was awesome. And it grew to 4 different leagues. We had OMFL 1, OMFL 2, OMFL Custom, OMFL College, and then there might have been an OMFL 3. I might be wrong about that, but there definitely was those 4. We had a waiting list of over 100 people. ICQ back in that day ran like 200 or 300 people deep. It was awesome. And PC gaming was blowing up, and get the newest of the new, and we had awesome games. It was really, really fun. There was no streaming. People could watch because they could use your IP to watch, but there was no streaming back then or nothing. And then PC gaming died, and I got away from PC gaming, and so I handed the league off, and I kind of stepped back for a year or two. And then in PlayStation, I think it was 3 when I finally got one, because I didn't get one at launch. I didn't get one until like 6 months later. They brought back online again, and then I started playing again. I started a league called 4th and 1 for about a month, and in the process of setting up 4th and 1, the OMFL PC League died, and I took back all that history and that name. And a couple of those guys came over with me, and we started the OMFL again. That league grew from, I think that was 2013, 14, 2012, somewhere in there. Grew and grew and grew. By then I had kids, I was married, I had a full-time job, all that fun, adulting stuff. Handed it off to somebody because I needed to step back. The pressure was just too much in all of my areas of life. Man, this has turned into a freaking 45-minute episode of history on OMFL. Got the itch again after a couple of years. I kept playing there, but I wasn't commissioner. That guy wouldn't create a space for whatever reason for me to come help. So I started a Madden league called GrownFolks. The name stuck out to me. I was like, we're going to be GrownFolks. I just thought it was catchy and kind of fun, and kind of also what we were. So started the GrownFolks Madden League, ran that for 2 seasons or 3 or 4 seasons. I don't remember. You can look at the history there. In Madden 15, started brand new from scratch. I think one guy came over with me, 00. That's about it. I let them have everything. I didn't play there anymore. Through the GrownFolks Madden League, that's where we got the Dwaynes, I think maybe Brady's of the world, that kind of stuff. Most of the guys that you see here, the Moes of the world, Pepper came back and rejoined me after a couple of years. And in that process, that league, the OMFL, died. And the commissioner, who's actually in our chat now, but doesn't play here, he retired, messaged me, gave me back my name, my history, and everything. So I took down the GrownFolks Madden League, brought back the OMFL Madden League, but created the GrownFolks online community, because by then we noticed that people were wanting to play other games. Shooters and Rocket League was real big back then, and these other games. And so the idea was, well, let's just create a whole community of people that play all kinds of stuff. And so that became the GrownFolks online community. The OMFL came back. There was some drama around that, as some guys who followed over when the OMFL died, quote unquote, took the name back, left, and kept their league going. Anyway, the long and short of it is that's how we were birthed. I got with Pootie T, who ran the NBC. They were the first league to come over. Out of that, we had the NASCAR league started, the wrestling league started, the golf league started. We had 2 Madden leagues, and then guys just started kind of growing from there. And we've grown to the community that we are now, and some free websites to now the WordPress thing that we do. And we immediately got, about 5 or 6 years ago, got on Twitter, got our YouTube going, Twitch and all that fun stuff. And then we went from streaming, which was literally my computer's webcam facing my TV on Justin.tv. That's how I streamed for a long time. I would sit in a chair, turn the chair towards the TV, and it would record my TV screen, and people would watch it. And I couldn't see what was going on in the chat or nothing, but I would sneak and peek over and check out the chat from time to time. It was on Justin.tv to straight up just webcam on the computer and streaming, just straight up through PlayStation, to what you guys see now, which has grown over the past year. It really is how this has grown. And in the new year, in 2021, I want to do even more. I really, really want to go 4K, but it's like a $400 investment to stream in 4K. And I got to be honest, I don't have it. I got too much other stuff going on in my life. So as either people give donations, which I'll gladly take to help us stream in 4K, I'm constantly doing graphics here and doing stuff to really push out what we do. I want to say about 10 years ago, we started doing these Press Pass Lives. They were called something else at first. This Week in the OMFL, that's what I used to call them. And it started out as a written graphic that was super cool, like a blog post. And then it turned into a monthly show. And then over the years, it was like 5 monthly shows. And now it turned into every week that I do these. Man, I don't remember being on League Pulse. I mean, I totally know that you've told me this before, Pepper, but I just don't remember those days. I do remember Bri making us one of the most killer websites I'd ever seen. I wish it was still online somewhere I could go find it. That's the one thing like I missed that I did. I used to have a guy here local. I've never met him. I didn't even live in New Orleans at the time, but he did. His name was Saints Dave. And then there was another guy here, I think his name's Dave too, that I met when I bought the OMFL back as a PlayStation League. Both of those guys used to keep my history, but they never shared it. And so I just lost all of the history. Like I just don't have a lot of the history. Now we keep a lot of the history. Over the last like 4 or 5 years, we've been keeping a lot of the history from everything. Instead of everything. We've got everything on Google spreadsheets. So that's kind of cool. But man, there's 15 years of history that we don't have anymore. 16 years of history that we don't have anymore. So I kind of miss it. And I do miss PC gaming now that it's back and it's like better than ever. But so expensive, and I wouldn't be able to be with all you guys. I'd have to start all over. And the PC Madden gaming community is teeny, whereas it used to be massive, really, really massive. So who knows? Maybe we'll become a PC league again one day if everybody stops making consoles, which is the rumor. I don't know that I believe it. So yeah, that was a 45-minute conversation about one question. So I apologize because we're over an hour here. Let me get to the last two from Shocks fan. Who makes the playoffs this season? That's what this whole show was about. And what team do you think can surprise some people this season? What would we consider a surprise? Let's just look at some of what Madden would rate as some of these lower tier teams. Let's come over here. Colts, Bills. I mean, I guess technically Rob would argue that he would be a surprise, but Rob's a very good player. I wouldn't consider Bill a surprise. Surprise teams to go into the playoffs. Packers would be a surprise because he just doesn't do it. Bengals would be a surprise because I think he's still a year away. Rob would argue this, so when he watches it, just for sake of Rob not arguing with me, Rob would be a surprise, even though he's a great football player and I don't consider him a surprise. Colts would be a surprise. Those would be some of my like really surprise teams. Would any of these teams do it? Texans think that they're back. They had a big victory week 1. Packers clearly believe in himself. Browns, I think could definitely do it. I don't consider Massimo a surprise though. Just like I would consider Colin a surprise. These are some teams that they're tough to call them surprises because I don't think that they're surprise teams anymore, and they're actually really, really good teams. So that's it for the show, man. I apologize for rambling as long as I did about the OMFL. And look at that. Do you understand? Hold on. I hate that my camera does that. For a split 0.1 of a second, it holds on to whatever is on the screen last. I gotta go full camera for this. Did you see that? Watch this. Watch. See if you pick up on it. I'm in the menu, blah, 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 blah. I go back. You understand how happy that makes me? It doesn't bring you all the way back here when it should have never done that to begin with. It leaves you where you are. It makes my heart feel good. It does. It makes my heart feel good. It makes me so happy. It's the little things, man. Just do little things. I gotta show off the shirt here. We have our gear, ! T-shirts. Go get you some OMFL gear. There's literally all kinds of stuff. There's clocks, there's pillows, there's sheets, there's like phone covers, there's mugs. Dwayne has a mug. I mean, there's all kinds of super cool stuff. The shirts are awesome. Like, these are some of my favorite shirts. I literally wear this all over the place. No one understands them. No one gets them. When they see my GrownFolks shirt that I have, or my Daddy League shirt that I have, or my League Crawler, like, people don't get what the OMFL is. They don't get any of these shirts. I love these. These are good quality Gideon, I think, shirts or whatever. They come in cool colors. The logo is super awesome. We need to get some new ones up there. Yeah, I guess I got to do that. We got to put the new logo up there. So anyway, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. I've got big plans. I've got a lot of time coming off after Thanksgiving. I got a lot of time for Thanksgiving, but I'm leaving. So I won't get to do a whole lot for Thanksgiving. But for Christmas, I'll have a ton of time off. And I plan on doing, yes, they have long sleeve, they have hoodies, they have sweaters, they have all kinds of cool stuff. Are you scared to let the guns out? Is that the thing? Anyway, I've got big plans. Again, I so appreciate everybody who gives here. But if you're not a platinum member, $10, it goes a long way. It goes all to the stuff that I do here. You know, all of the production, it goes towards building that production, the website, the graphics, everything. It helps me to be able to do those things. And yeah, I'd appreciate the help. And so if you have it in your heart and you want to give a few extra dollars to help me go 4K, I'm excited about that. I can't wait. I have a 4K TV that I've not been able to see 4K gaming on because I only had a regular old plain PlayStation, like original PlayStation, like launch PlayStation that I think I got one Christmas or whatever. And so when I get back from Thanksgiving, the new PlayStation will be here. It'll be a 4K, and I'll get to see it on this beautiful TV that I've had for a year now that I paid. I didn't pay that much. I think I paid $800, which is a lot of money for me, but for some of you, not a lot of money. I think it's Pepper. Pepper showed his 9 PlayStation 5s that he purchased on his leather chair. I'm like, that chair costs more than probably my entire setup that I got right here. But anyway, I want to go 4K. That's a $400 investment, and I don't have it, and I don't want to take $400 from the community. So anyway, hopefully we'll go 4K sometime this year with the new PlayStation 5 and just get you guys some super cool stuff. I'm going to redesign the stream a little bit, not a ton, but I'm going to redesign it a little bit just to do some more stuff. I've started to do some new stuff here, as you can see. Whenever I go full screen, all of my cameras and stuff, I buy them personally because as you guys know, I'm a pastor and I use them for church. And so I'm about to upgrade some of my camera setup. So this thing here is a Logitech webcam, which is black quality. I'm going to use that as my second cam. I'm going to invest in a really, really nice DSL that I'll be able to keep, face level, not way up here. This will turn into another camera. So I'll have a dual camera setup this next year. You'll see some new mics here pretty soon. I'm investing in some new mics. I'm trying to get away from having to use 2. I don't know if I can. I'm going to try because right now, the way PlayStation does party chats and such, I got to have 2 of them whenever I do like podcasts and stuff. But here soon, the new mic, I'll be able to put my voice in Discord chat and y'all can listen to me there if you can't watch. Or I'm also going to do dual streaming, so both the Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So just anyway, lots of fun stuff coming, and I hope that you're excited. But the thing I know you're probably most excited about is season 93, not watching me stream my stupid Saints games and I hope that you enjoyed the OMFL Bowl with commentary. We can do more stuff like that as we continue to build out the system here. So, Mr. Brady, thank you so much for OMFL News. I got to admit, I didn't get to listen to all of it, so I'm going to go back and listen to all of it. But I love those. It has been it's been the perfect thing. It's been exactly what I envisioned, and you're hitting it out of the park, and I appreciate you because I know COVID allows you to do this for me, and I know one day COVID won't be a thing and basketball will be a thing, and you may not have the time to do these, but right now I'm freaking loving it, and I appreciate you. So guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed the show. Here's what I'm going to do for you, though. I'm going to put up the Be Right Back soon, or starting, I think it's the Be Right Back screen. And what I'm going to do there is replay the news. So if you missed the news, it's going to be on the Be Right Back screen for the next 13 minutes, and you can listen to the news. So I hope you have a blessed week. If you're looking for some spiritual connections, I'd love for you to come check out what we do. It is a home-based church, so we meet in homes. It's called Home Church, homechurch217.com. We're on YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram, Twitter, and we also have our own app. And we've got lots and lots, many hours of content. I was lucky enough to preach this past Sunday. So if you're looking for some spiritual connections and spiritual community, come check us out. I think that you'll enjoy the conversations that we're having, and it'll be a blessing to you. But anyway, I hope that you have a blessed week, guys. Stay healthy. Have a lot of fun. We'll see you next time. All right. God bless you.
Yeah, it's your boy Brady Sr. giving you the OMFL News After Dark. Gotta be a little quiet because we got that remote learning going on in the background. But we're gonna go ahead and talk about this draft. Looks like Daddy League set up a little something. We'll kind of recap some of the top picks. You know, even look at, looks like it's top 10, top tiers, best draft, and then, of course, best picks. Stay tuned after this, bitches. Yeah. Get busy with them. Hey. Get busy with them. Hey. All right, man. It's your boy Brady Sr. giving you the OMFL News. Welcome fucking back. All right, so we're getting ready to talk about this top 10 in the draft. So let's see if I can run through this motherfucker real quick. Packers at 1 with Kemp. Dolphins at 2 with Dillinger. Jaguars at 3 with Morris. Football team at 4 with Peters. Bengals at 5 with Bryson. Jets at 6 with Tandy. Bills at 7 with Walden. The Falcons at 8 with Royals. The Panthers with Lipton at 9. And Mr. Ellis and them Colts at 10. And that is your top 10 of the motherfucking first draft here in the OMFL. Peace, motherfuckers. Yeah, welcome back, hey. Welcome back, hey. Welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark, man. This your boy Brady Sr. Giving you the news, the lowdown on this motherfucking shit. Alright, I'll stop. I ain't got no bars. Let me quit playing. But real quick, man, let's talk about this draft here. So Daddy Leagues, they got a couple little tabs that you can click on, man, and check out some of the teams. And let's run through the top 4 or 5 teams on the tier players that they actually had. So the Dolphins led all teams with 4 top-tier players. The Steelers came in second, or tied for second, with the Steelers, the Browns, the football team, and the Colts. All had 3 top-tier players added to the draft. So that's the top 5 right there. Dolphins, Steelers, Browns, football team, and the Colts. And yeah, man. The worst team in the drafts, I will go ahead and piggyback off that. The worst teams were the Cardinals, the Ravens, the Bucks, and the Seahawks. Neither of those teams picked a top tier team. But I mean, come on. Cardinals, really? He went in with dirt, fam. I'm just saying. We'll be right back after this, man. We got more on this motherfucking draft. Peace. Man, I had to use this beat again. It go hard in the paint. Yeah. Hey, man, welcome back to the OMFL News After Dark, man. Look, we getting ready to talk about best picks per position. All right? We gonna run through this. We'll try and give you a minute worth, and then we'll come back and hit you with 1 more minute worth. But, yeah, let's run through this shit, shall we? Got 30 seconds. Let's go with it. So the best pick at right outside linebacker goes to the Packers with Kemp. Defensive tackle was Dillinger to the Dolphins. Halfback was Morris to the Jags. Cornerback was Bryson to the Bengals. We had Walden receiver to the Bills. We had Smallwood left end to the Browns. And then we had middle linebacker Ellis to the Colts. But hey, you know what? We'll be right back into this, motherfuckers. Yo, if you made it this far, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe. You're probably hearing a lot of noise in the background, but like I said, man, it's remote learning in here, and I'm pre-recording the fuck out of this shit. But anyway, this is OMFL News After Dark, getting you lit, hyped the fuck up for some Press Pass Live hosted by my boy GrownFolks, motherfucking Nate. So again, hit the like, motherfuckers, hit the like. Damn sure click that fucking subscribe and stay tuned every week, cause we keeps this motherfucker fresh. Peace. Yeah, this beat, boy, I guess I got to keep this beat consistent with what I'm doing here. Anyway, so man, we are back at it again. We're gonna rattle off some more, but yeah, we are doing the best picks at each position, and let's rattle off this next 7. Shout out to my boy Nips real quick. You know, gotta get that nipple shot in there. And then another shout out to the hater in the motherfucking room. Penguins and the motherfucking Chiefs. Whatever, man. Hey, I'm gonna stop. But here we go, man. We got Lipton was the best left outside linebacker to the Panthers. Glenn was the best strong safety to the Lions. Holloway was the best right end to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wilkins was the best free safety to the Jets. It looks like Young was the best tight end to the Packers. And the best left tackle, hidden development, Mr. Brooks, went to the Broncos. But you know what, man? Hey, we'll be right back after this, y'all. Because I got more for you bitches. I told y'all, boy, I love this beat. Y'all gonna get fucking sick and tired of hearing it, but you know, we gonna keep it fucking going. Yeah. Hey, shake that ass, ho. Hey. Alright, I'm done. Anyway, man, hey, we back. OMFL News After Dark. And, yeah, man, let's see if we can rattle off the rest of these to get up out of here, man, so we can get you over to the Press Pass Live. But yeah, top picks at each position. Quarterback, Mr. Baker went to the 49ers. Left guard, Stallings went to the football team. Tanner, right guard, went to the Giants. Lambert, punter, went to the Cowboys. Stafford, fullback, went to the Broncos. Robinson, kicker, went to the Bengals. Carter, center, went to the Texans. And then last but not least, Mr. Gibson, right tackle, bitches, went to them Browns, ho. Yeah. But I ain't trying to rhyme. I ain't trying to bust on rhymes right now. But I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here. Gonna come back just a second to close this out, man. And we're gonna talk about, man, I believe it's the best draft. The best draft. Yeah. Let's close this shit out. Hey. All right, man. It's your boy Brady Sr. giving you the OMFL news. And yo, it's time to get up out of here. Because the bees keep coming. Hey, the bees keep coming, bitches. But yeah, we getting ready to talk about Best Draft. Best Draft Award. Hey, yo, put some incentive points on this shit. This shit right here is hot, y'all. If you haven't got over to Daddy Lee's to check out the draft tab, man, you need to get your motherfucking asses over there and tell them who fucking sent you to. It's that Brady Senior. But anyway, yo, listen, about to get out of here. Press Pass Live is hot, ready to go. But man, the Best Draft Award went to the motherfucking Miami Dolphins, bro. They got 2 hidden development. Wait, was it 2? 3? No, 3. They got 3 dudes on their team that's hidden development. Of the 4 that they got that was top tier. Like, come the fuck on, man. You better have a balling out season, bro. But anyway, I'm out of here. Yeah. So this is your boy Brady Senior signing out. Peace, love, and motherfucking hair grease. I'm out. Hey. Peace, bitches.